nothing's just
The experiment gets funded. Every company gets funded. The good ideas and the bad ideas. And investors have a hard time in the middle of this excitement distinguishing between the good ideas and the bad ideas. And so that's also probably happening today. But it doesn't mean that anything that's happening isn't real. Like, AI is real, and it is going to change every industry.
It will change.
I welcome to the show first and foremost, guys. I'm your host, Michael Gardner. I have a lot of comments on this particular topic here that we're discussing on the program with Jeff Bezos now starting this new AI company called Project Prometheus, which I have a lot on, folks. But first and foremost, before we start the show, guys, I'd like to direct your attention for those that do check us out on video. Guys, starting later today, we are relaunching our merchandise website, savagedarmy.com. That's right, guys. It's been in hiding now for like the last 5-6 months, right, Tibbs? 5-6 months. And I've had some people come on the show that love tuning us in, right, on audio or video or wherever the hell they're tuning us in. They just love listening to the show. And they're like, we noticed something about the merchandise website. It's been down for several months. Is there any, issue with it? Is it coming back? And, we had intentions on bringing it back, but we were trying to find, merchandise that would match our content, literally match it. And I was going through some ideas with, my producer here at Tibbs and a few friends that, that are part of the show. And, I've came up with a concept that actually I believe is ideal for this program, this podcast, and all the episodes we bring in. So I have literally, with the help of my team, redesigned this entire website. So you obviously see here one of our featured merchandise pieces that will actually be debuting later today if you head over to savagedarmy.com, basically titled All Gas, No Brakes, folks, which is my rule book. That's right. It is my Savage Rules 101, and I live by this every single day. So if you're wanting to buy badass merchandise, okay, check us out, guys. We are going to be bringing out probably the most patriotic, conservative, badass, unfiltered, uncut, unhinged gear that you could possibly envision. Okay? And why not start it out with this analogy of a header? All gassed, no brakes. Right? And again, why not? So check that out as well, guys. Back to the show. You're right, Tibbs. We needed it back. So anyway, guys, welcome back. This is the Savage Unfiltered show where we literally rip the Band-Aid off of the world's bullshit without apology, right? Or a safe word. I'm the guy, folks, that calls out the kings when they're pantless and preaching, right? So fuck them. They water down the truth. We don't. We give the truth right out there, whether they want to hear it or not. So today we're going to be diving balls deep into the latest from the bald billionaire guy himself, Jeff Bezos, right? The space-faring, smiley-faced slumlord. Yes, I said it, folks. Slumlord, and you're going to understand where I'm going with this. Just literally lit a $6.2 billion fuse on his latest, newest vision of a dream called Project Prometheus. What is Project Prometheus? It's an AI company. Yeah. Yeah. Because the world needs more robot overlords programmed by a guy who thinks $500 steaks are frugal. So guys, strap in or don't. I mean, I really don't give a shit for my leftist audience because if I offend you, I'm sorry. This is America. I'm not sorry. I said it. Guys, we're going to be burning this shit down today. We're going to cover all of it. So literally stick around because you're really not going to want to miss this. I have a clip here before I continue with the program. I have a clip, guys, and you're going to want to check this out because this clip, guys, is just it's going to get you like going like, what the hell, Savaged? Like this I'm going to talk about AI robots. I'm going to talk about it all, folks, because not only am I pissed off, okay, because it's affecting companies like factories and distribution centers that, that get the product out really quick, which I don't have a problem with the current workforce. Even though Bezos has this vision thinking that robots can outperform humans, which they're already having issues with some of their robots that they have right now. Check out this clip here from an earlier video of Jeff Bezos from the time he started Amazon in the late 90s. I want to give you that timeline on how this man has evolved over the course of 24 and a half, almost 25 years of being in the business of logistics and distribution, guys. Check this out.
Hi there, who are you?
I'm Jeff Bezos.
And what is your claim to fame?
I'm the founder of Amazon.com.
Where did you get an idea for Amazon.com?
Well, 3 years ago, I was in New York City working for a quantitative hedge fund when I came across the startling statistic that web usage was growing at 2,300% a year. So I decided I would try and find a business plan that made sense in the context of that growth. And I picked books as the first best product to sell online, which making a list of like 20 different products that you might be able to sell. And books were great as the first best because books are incredibly unusual in one respect, and that is that there are more items in the book category than there are items in any other category by far. Music is number 2. There are about 200,000 active music CDs at any given time. But in the book space, there are more than 3 million different books worldwide active and in print at any given time across all languages, more than 1.5 million in English alone. So when you have that many items, you can literally build a store online that couldn't exist.
I want to stop it right there. He had this vision, folks, to build a company based off of books. That's where he started from, books. Then books became other visions and other ideas that he had in his mind then in the late 90s to basically bring in pieces of merchandise that was normally found in retail outlets, earlier retail outlets like Kmart, Caldors, Bradley's, Sears, J.C. Penney, just to name a few. Some of them are still around. Some of them have, gone under the radar of the umbrella, no longer with us, so to speak. So he had this idea to bring in stuff and put it on through a cloud type of seeding of software to then sell it to the general public. Because his idea was, if I can take those pieces of merchandise and put it on a website and sell it, obviously through the permissions of other companies, why not? Because, the idea was to cater to elderly folks that possibly couldn't get out, and out to the retail outlets and they wouldn't mind waiting for packages to be delivered. So that was his vision. and don't get me wrong, it was a great vision and it still works to this day. I mean, that's just a small example of it. But here's where I have issues with this whole AI race within the AI world of technology. Okay? I have a big problem when billionaires or millionaires of CEOs have a vision of destroying, and this is my opinion, and some of you may agree to this, literally destroying the American workforce, the American labor sharing of employment in America to replace humans with robots, thinking it's going to speed up the process. I understand that competition is looked at on a very serious note, even in the 21st century in 2025 today. I understand that. Trust me, I do. I'm in the industry right now of podcasting where there is so many choices given to you, where rewind going back to like just about 20 something years ago when there was only about 10 or 15 of us, on the market. And now we have tens of millions of shows that are evolving and still evolving every single day. You want to listen to a cooking show? I guarantee there's probably about 20 million podcast shows about cooking. Or if you want to learn about, home improvement, another probably 20 million shows of podcasting shows about home improvement, sports, you name it, folks. It's out there. I get the competition. Don't get me wrong. I'm constantly competing against others with graphics and still trying to evolve within the industry. It's rapidly increasing and getting better day by day. Trust me, when I started this thing, like now going on almost 7 years ago, the podcasting industry then was very limitless. Audio, if that. And I mean, where it's at now with video and everything now, I mean, it's like looking at like somebody's like, home, studio production. Some of us, from the very bottom to the very top. Some of us, doing this at the comforts of our basement to, professional studios like where I'm at now. So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing people that do it in their basements. I actually have some friends out there that actually do produce their shows in their basement. And I mean, they make it of a show. I mean, hat tip to my good buddy there, Walt Blau there of B Raw Podcast. I've mentioned him timeless here on the show, countless of times. Tremendous friend of mine, and damn good podcaster, content creator. So there's no bashing whatsoever within, my industry of this. But I'm going to say something here, folks. I think, Bezos now, making it public, joining the AI world. I think he is literally going over his word in literally 1999. Because if you paid attention to that video, the man was very humble. He wanted to give to the community. Similar to Sam Walton, the original founder and CEO owner of Walmart. And where Walmart is now, there's no different side story between the both of them. Very similar in different ways. Now evolving with AI and wanting to bring AI into their company. To me, folks, it's taken away jobs of hardworking Americans that would love to work in an Amazon fulfillment center or any type of warehouse that they have. My question for you, Mr. Bezos, is why and the people along with Amazon? Because just because, don't get me wrong, guys, you're going to say Savage, he's not the CEO. You're right. You're damn right. He's not the CEO, right? He had passed the torch over, but he still has stock and he still has obligations to the company. So he's still very much part of Amazon. Just because he's not CEO, he's still very much part of it. So my question for you, Mr. Bezos, is, and the people of your team, why do you feel the necessity to damage and destroy jobs of human beings for a quick turnout of product? Because a robot can fulfill an order probably 60 seconds faster than a human being. You're actually you're actually complaining about 60 seconds. I did the analysis, folks. I mean, yes, I just don't come on this microphone and spew, nonsense of ridiculousness. I actually do my homework and I go online and I actually search analysis, statistics, all that stuff, polls from the simple view of it all. And it breaks down to about 60%. 60, they're complaining about 60%, right? 60%, which also equivalents to 60 seconds. The 40% of where I'm getting at, folks, is the breakdown of the material that needs to be basically evolved and within the process. So, I I just think it's crap. I really do. And before we get there, guys, I want to say thank you to the people that make this show possible. That's right, guys. Blackout Coffee. I love them. I plug them just about every episode. Yeah, Tibbs over here, he's getting sick of me plugging it. Blackout Coffee, guys. Stay free, stay awake, and choose Blackout Coffee for their fresh, quality piece of coffee of grinds. Say that 15 times. It's going to drive you crazy. Guys, by joining them today, use this promo code that you see in the screen. And I got to constantly say this, guys. Okay? If you see this promo code and it's no longer working and it says invalid, I'm sorry. You probably have been listening to this show late and it has expired. So scan this QR code, guys. Check them out today. Tell John down there in South Florida that Savage sent you, and basically support this amazing patriotic company because they are a non-woke company. Yeah, conservatives out there are like, whoa, savaged. Are they? Yes, they are. Non-woke. They don't support the DEI garbage. They are a awesome company. I almost think that they're like labeled as like a MAGA company or a conservative company. Why not? Right? John, are you offended by that? I don't think you are. Check them out today. Amazing company, guys. So, yeah, back to the show. So where do we go with this here? Okay. With now Jeff Bezos joining AI, manufacturing startup as co-CEO with $6.2 billion in funding. Oh, God, there's a lot of money going into this. A lot of money. So just 2 days ago, right, the New York Times dropped this bombshell with Bezos ain't content with owning your doorstep, your data, or half the goddamn rainforest. Now he's co-founding and co-CEOing Project Prometheus with some egghead named Vic Bajaj. I think that's how you say his name. Look it up, Tibbs. Make sure I'm not, just saying anything just to get his name out there, which is a scientist who probably high-fived him at a TED Talk. Right? They got all buddy, and they're like, this guy's a scientist. I'm somewhat of a scientist of vision that started Amazon and where it's at today. So why not? And they already suckered $6.2 billion, like I mentioned, out of investors, which is Bezos' own wallet included. For what? Physical AI? That sounds sexy, right? Wrong, folks. It's robots that learn by fucking around in the real world, not some chatbot jerking off in your search history. Right? You're all keyboard warriors. I'm going to look online to see if it's accurate. If Grok.com says it's true, it must be true. If ChatGPT says it's true, it must be true. Right? Those are your keyboard jerk off warriors. But think AI twerking humanoid bots for factories, because that's what it boils down to, folks, right? The AIs of the bots, right? I've seen these things in Amazon. There's these little like hoverboard looking things. And then they have like these big like metal looking rafter plastic things hovering over them. And the robots now will go to another robot to have it fulfilled with an order, and then it goes all the way over to the other side of the damn warehouse distribution center, and then it drops off the order, and then there's another process. And I'm like thinking to myself, I just said it earlier in the program. They're worried about 60 seconds or 60% of the operation. To me, that's like 155% slower than the original operation, isn't it? If you kind of put your marbles together, you kind of understand what I mean by it. So that's where the joke came in, folks. Think AI twerking humanoid bots for factories. Engineering wizardry, right? Manufacturing miracles, right? No Grok, no Gemini, just cold, hard metal brains building better widgets. Oh, that's the vision. That's literally the vision that Bezos has basically came up with in the last 20 some odd years of this company and other companies alongside of that. So, I mean, oh my God, folks. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? I could tell you where we go from here, guys. On Spotify, through the Savaged Army, guys, we have came up with a concept with local artists, including myself, getting literally interested in this whole plan, right? I've shed my light on this, my interest, my participation on this, guys. Scan this QR code and check out our music label of a brand, Savaged Army, okay? With many great singles, including one of my best friends, Kylie O'Brien. So hat tip to you, Kylie, for coming out with this single called Cannon's Damn Mine. She gets into the whole hysteria of the rabbit holes of how Cannons goes down, and you don't want to get me started with that. From that, going over to the latest out there now called Swipe, and that goes into the whole EBT fraud and welfare abuse system, and it's really, 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 really swell of music. Some of my conservative audience love it. Not so much of the radical left; they can't stand it. It's a detrimental part of our society, Savage. Scan this QR code, guys, and check out our label, Savaged Army, available on Spotify or anywhere you hear music for that matter. So, Bezos, is he slinging the Amazon playbook? Or is he obsessed with memos of robots trying to do DoorDash dudgery to commit to their customer obsession? That really means squeeze them dry, folks. You ever heard that before? The whole, customer obsession. I actually, I looked this up on Amazon, and they have this thing called customer obsession, and I think in their eyes, like, they want to fulfill so many orders in the retail market, right? They want to be the very, very best. It's not saying that, but if you think about it, it is saying it. We want to be the best, folks. So let's suck them dry. Let's suck them dry. Let's squeeze them out. Let's squeeze out Walmart and all these other companies. But here is the savage truth, folks. Right? I have a little savage truth. This isn't innovation. It's insurance. How's it insurance? Well, I'll explain. Okay? Got about another 10 minutes here. I'll explain. Okay? Amazon's AWS, right, which is their internet service and their data centers that basically command the entire Amazon network, okay, is the AI plumbing, more or less, within the industry. So for every tech turd online, think of OpenAI's eating lunch with flashy LLMs and Musk's XAI poaching talent like a bad ex at a wedding. Just think of that, folks, because that's what it breaks down to. I mean, literally. I mean, it breaks it down. So let's look at this video here with now Jeff Bezos going into even more of his vision. Check this out, guys.
Well, okay, so to take you back in time, in the year 2000, when the internet bubble burst, Amazon's stock, in a very short period of time, went from $113 a share to $6 a share.
I wonder why.
It's split many times since then. I don't know, 20 for one, or maybe even more. I don't have the number. But so these prices have nothing to do with today's stock prices. But to go from 113 to 6 in a short period of time was very concerning, and shareholders were upset, employees were nervous. We had all of our employee base, their parents were all calling our employees and saying, "Are you okay?" You know, this was the environment of great nervousness. But I looked at the numbers in the business, and every month, as the stock price went from 113 to 6, a number of customers went up every month.
Let me stop it right there. I'm going to go back to this, folks. I am going to go back to it, but I want to challenge Mr. Bezos on this one. I hope he's listening. Hope he's listening here on X, okay, and any other video platform we're streaming on. You're talking about the stocks, how they kind of plummeted back and forth. What do you think the stocks are going to do when AI is fully emerged within the company of Amazon? Do you think they're going to take a dip? Of course they are. Of course they are. People are going to see that this company is not being driven by humans. It's being driven, well, this small mart, right? I mean, you're going to have some type of humans inside these plants to, service them and make sure that the wheels on the bus go round and round in the distribution centers. Of course, they're going to have to, maybe 10, 15 people, if that. But what do you think the stocks are going to do? They're going to take a plummet. Boop, down the drain. Do these CEOs, I know they're billionaires and millionaires, do they actually think of where the company is going to go when they dabble their little fingers in the brand new toys that come into the society of America called AI? Do they not understand the consequences of their actions? They think it's all fun and games. Let's dabble in AI because AI is the latest thing, right? Podcasters are using it. Production companies are using it. Hollywood, sports television is using it. I mean, TV programs, they're using it. So why can't we use it? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, I mean, listen to more of this nonsense here, folks. Literally nonsense.
Gross profits went up every month. Our operating expense, we were still in a loss position, but our losses as a percentage of sales went down every month. Every single business metric, new customers, customer repeat purchases, everything that we were monitoring through that entire period kept getting better. And so that's one observation about bubbles in general.
He's talking about the bubbles. So the bubbles, in my personal perspective here of seeing this and kind of elaborating it and, taking it into play here, they want to eliminate the bubbles. The bubbles folks are talking about is the downfall of the production. So when pieces of equipment break and there's downtime, what happens? The product doesn't get sent out. There becomes what's called a stall in the factory or the warehouse or the distribution center or vice versa. So you're losing money and you're losing time. The employees are still making money. Obviously, they're still on the clock. So see where I'm going there, folks? People on audio is like, what happened? He's muted. No. Did that on purpose. You don't think those AI robots are going to have stall out moments within the bubbles? You don't think? Come on, folks. I know. I could see it. I could see it happening right now. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Bubble or not all AI plays will fade away. Exactly what I just said. Exactly. You could be talking about your bubbles, but you're still going to have bubbles within your AI technology. They're still going to be there. They're not going away. They won't fade away. They won't, like, you can't take out like the wand from the Good Witch from the Wizard of Oz and say, think of happy thoughts. Just click your toes together and say, there's no place like home. There's no. Is that what's going to happen? Are the members of the board going to put their wand together and say, there's no place like Amazon. There's no place like Amazon. There is no place like Amazon. I'm sorry. As much as evolution comes in with AI, you will always have the flaws. You will always have the defects of it all. Stop with the nonsense. You want to use AI to generate searches. You want to play around with AI to come up with, scripts. Maybe you're writing a book and you want to use code secrets. By my all means, go for it. It works. Trust me. Dabbled into it myself, and it's a tremendous, tremendous tool. It really is. But the bubble or not, it will not make a damn difference. It will not make a damn difference. Guys, this January, starting this January, we are going to be in the great state of New Jersey. That's right, guys. The first stop of the Stomping Grounds Tour 2026. Uncensored, by the way. I will be in New Jersey in a little town called Highlands, New Jersey. That's right, guys, with my good friend Gen X Robert. So hat tip to you, Gen X Robert will be specially co-hosting with me on that special day. Guys, bear with us as more information towards the end of this month, going into next month of December, going into season 7 of the show will all be announced as we are announcing it now, guys. So check us out. Really, really special tour. There's going to be about 6, 7, Tibbs is saying 7, 8. Okay. Yeah. 7, 8, it's like lightly whispering. Embarrassing today. I forgot to bring my headsets in, from home into the studio. So you're probably wondering, like, Savage, we can see your ears now. Yeah, I normally have headsets on. So about 7, 8, right, Tibbs? Yeah, 7, 8. So about 7, 8 stops of the Stomping Grounds Tour. First stop will be in New Jersey. February will actually be in the great state of Tennessee and Nashville. So hat tip to the folks, great folks in Nashville. You're going to want to check us out there. And then we are also making a stop in Madison, Wisconsin, with my good friend Sauce, which will be co-hosting with me on that program. So you're going to want to check that out there in Madison. That's around, do we have a date on that yet? I think that's around April. Don't quote me on that. It is April. So April will be in Madison, Wisconsin, for the Stomping Grounds Tour, a live show here of the Savaged Unfiltered. Just giving a little, raw deliverance here to the audience. So you're going to want to check that out. So back to the show. Here's something, what people are kind of questioning what, Project Prometheus is about. What is Project Prometheus? Well, I just labeled it, folks. It's this AI vision of what Jeff Bezos is trying to envision. He's literally pivoting to physical shit. He's pivoting from eliminating humans to bringing in full-blown robots that can, to his delusion, outperform humans in every aspect of that, which there has been flaws and defects already of sources that I'm getting from people actually working there saying that they're not really what they claimed them to be. So that's the physical shit. Robots, hardware, cause that's where the money to him is really at. Humanoids? No, that's the Tesla tactory. That's the Tesla tactory. The territory, the tackery, right? The tackery of Tesla. That's the territory, baby. And speaking of the silver spoon spaceman, right? Elon Musk. Let's talk about him a little bit. Boom. As we kind of close it up, folks, Elon Musk basically dropped the mic on X earlier this week, calls Bezos a copycat for nicking his robot playbook. Savaged? Hell yes, fair. That's what I call it. Absolutely fucking lootly. Musk's Optimus bots are strutting stages while Bezos hides behind a secretive lab. No website, no splashy demo, just whispers from Austin, Texas ghost town, which is a $6.2 billion raised industry in that alone. That's the chump change for Jeff. But it's a bet against the singularity, or is it, folks? You can be the guest. You can be the guest. I actually DM'd. You're gonna like this, folks, as we close it out. I actually DM'd. Listen to this. I actually DM'd my good old buddy on X, Razor Rick, which is an ex-Google engineer turned whistleblower bartender, to spill the beans. And this is what I said. Rick, you magnificent bastard. What's the unfiltered read? And this is what Razor Rick said. Michael, my man, Prometheus, it's Frankenstein's lab on steroids. Baja's a bio-whiz from Stanford gene editing. Neutral nets, so expect AI that doesn't just think, it grows, which is real-world leaning or learning, meaning that these bots, the experiment behind it, will smash a prototype like evolution on crack. I replied back and I'm like, so is that Bezos' style? He'll micromanage it into a cult, right? Memos at 3 a.m. that starve the staff, right? So is that the reason why Musk's going all crazy with the copycatting of his, SpaceX? Folks, it's really, yeah, that's what Project Prometheus is. It's really an image of what we're seeing with this guy from what we see now. The image of what I showed earlier in the program of Bezos' image of customers of 1999 versus now. This is what he thinks of not only his customers, but of his employees. The new image of Jeff Bezos. It's literally, it's disgusting, folks, if you ask me. Literally disgusting. And I want to play this raw clip here. A very, very raw clip. Okay? Where'd you get this from, Tibbs? Okay, so this is actually from Bezos' account here on X. Check this out, guys.
And when bubbles happen, so that's one thing that happens. The second thing that happens when people get very excited, as they are today about artificial intelligence, for example, is every experiment gets funded. Every company gets funded. The good ideas and the bad ideas. And investors have a hard time in the middle of this excitement distinguishing between the good ideas and the bad ideas. And so that's also probably happening today.
I want to stop it right there, folks. Did you just see that? He was actually speaking to an Italian group of techs, IT techs. So did you hear all that? He's basically giving you the very reason of the core of why he is bringing in AI robots into his company. Literally literally explaining this right to you. Unionizing Roombas. That's what I'm calling it. Now, folks, if that's not a nightmare of fueling sponsorship, I don't know what is. But it seems like Jeff Bezos would kill over it to have it. But let's get a real savage ethic of this entire thing. He just says Bezos He preached long-term thinking. He did. Did you not listening to the clip? He basically preached that. Long-term thinking. While Amazon warehouses chew up souls like cheap gum, this AI, folks, is literally going to accelerate engineering. All right. It's going to accelerate in quality. Patents incoming for robot overlords that patent themselves, which also the FTC's going to cream their pants probing this for monopoly vibes. And the green angle of this all, folks, as I close it up, training these beasts, guzzling more juice than Bezos' yacht party, right? Or you can go over to the Blue Origin solar tie-ins. Cute. But, folks, that is the lipstick on a coal-fired pig. So there it is. There it is. The Smurfs of the machine age. Bezos is probably lifting up his hat and his glass. I'll drink to that poison. Folks, that's the final gut punch of this crazy madman. Listen to more of this, folks, as we kind of close it up. Oh, my God.
But it doesn't mean that anything that's happening isn't real. Like, AI is real. And so those bubbles society wants to avoid. The ones that are industrial are not nearly as bad.
What the hell is he talking about? We were going into bubbles. I have to explain that. Like, how do these bubbles make a difference with these AIs? The bubbles are still going to be there. The hiccups are still going to be there. The headaches are still going to be there. But there it is, you unwashed geniuses. Project Prometheus. Bezos' bid to play God with gears, or just a $6 bill distraction from his divorce tab. I say it's both. The man's a genius hustler, but geniuses fall hardest. They do, folks. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please drop your comments in the comment box, whether it's on our audio platforms, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, the list goes on, folks, or our video content through Rumble or YouTube or X. Love to see the comments. Love to see who's viewing us, guys. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. Remember this Friday, guys, for Savage 10, 10-minute truth bombs or just whatever's on my friggin' mind, to be honest with you. And I love to have you guys check out those short little terms of episodes. Other than that, guys, I'm Savage. Thanks very much for dropping by. And till next time, guys, take it easy.
This had been a Truth Productions media episode. Thank you for listening.